Hello everyone. Today I'd like to discuss something that's very important but is given relatively less attention. That is exam temperament. That and how that affects a lot how you perform in how the scores that you get and your final results. So I hope this talk will clear some air around it. I'm Rishabh Kumar Rewar. I got rank 104 this year. I'm a graduate from IIT Delhi from the batch of 2020. Moving on, what is exam temperament? It is what you do in the examination hall and how you do it. It is largely how you maintain your composure. How confident you are in the examination hall. How do you handle situations which you did not expect? If there is a sense that the exam is not going the way you had planned it to, how do you manage your emotions? All of that and a lot more is covered under exam temperament. And largely, I believe it is a product of three things. That is, first, confidence, the confidence that you have in yourself and your preparation. Second is a sense of calm and composure that a sort of self belief in yourself that you have prepared good enough for this examination, and let the worst come and you can somehow handle it. And third is presence of mind for each and every question while you're attempting. How focused are you? How dynamically are you able to think about different dimensions and different aspects, etc., etc., right? So first of those three elements is confidence. So how do you develop confidence, and what is its importance in the examination hall while you are sitting there with the paper? Is that confidence gives you the strength to go out on a limb and attempt a question of which you are not sure. And in an examination like the prelims of UPSC CSE, where you'll probably be only aware of 40 to 45 questions, and 55 to 60 questions would be out of the box, you won't be knowing the answers. There, it becomes very important to eliminate options, guess better, think about various interlinkages, join them somehow to get to an answer that seems fairly reasonable. And given the importance of this guesswork and elimination, confidence becomes very important because you need to be confident in your abilities to get to the answer. If you lack confidence, you might even feel scared in attempting a question of which you probably know the answer to. Sorry. Second aspect of confidence, how do you get confidence, is you give a lot of mock tests. You have been in that situation many times before the examination hall. And while you're giving those mock tests, you see that your scores are improving, you see that your rank is improving, you see that your marks are better than others. You see that you are scoring better than others. So that gives you a sense of सबकॉन्शियस अश्योरेंस दैट ये क्वेश्चन अगर मुझको नहीं आता तो किसी को भी नहीं आता. एंड वंस यू हैव दिस माइंडसेट इन द एग्जामिनेशन हॉल, then nothing would be able to phase you, right? Because if there is a very challenging question, you will know that okay, everyone is facing that question, everyone feels that it is challenging, and somehow now it's up to you to work out the solution to that answer, right? And this also gives you a sense that the examiner the UPSC panel, the person who made that question also had this thought in mind that they don't expect you to know the answer to that question, to have that knowledge, to have that memory or recollection of that weird, vague, random fact on which the question is based. They expect you to be confident and make an educated guess, eliminating and cancelling those options which seem irrational, which seem illogical, which seem incoherent with the question, and then to give a confident attempt. And that's what's required in most of those questions in prelims, right? Second part is calm. What do you mean by calm is that you don't panic, basically. That if there's something that isn't going as per your expectations, you can hold your nerve. And again, it becomes very important in prelims, in mains, of course, in interview. You and how do you stay calm? It is you are assured that you have prepared all you could from your end. That there is no anxiety, right? That you don't feel that अच्छा ये वाला subject छूट गया, अच्छा मैं इसमें और अच्छे से कर सकता. No, you don't have any of those feelings. You have prepared 100% from your end, and you have a strong sense of self belief that since you have prepared 100%, you will be able to sail through it. Along with that, you also understand that everyone who is giving this exam, everyone who is seeing those questions, everyone is in the same boat. No one understands, no one exactly knows what's the answer to that question. And as the point that I made in the confidence slide, that after that, once you are calm and confident, you have a very clear mind, you are at peace. It is only you and the question, nothing else, no fear, no anxiety, no uncertainty. And with that clarity in mind, you attempt that question. You try to eliminate options, you try to, go after logic, etc. etc. Third is the idea of presence of mind. And again, this becomes very important in all the three stages of the examination. By presence of mind, I mean that while you are attempting the question, or while you are writing the answer to a question, or while you are in the interview speaking the answer to of a question, you are 100% in the moment. You are totally thinking about the question. You are not thinking about anything else. You are not thinking about the question that was asked before. You are not thinking about the consequences of what will happen if you get this question wrong. You are not thinking about what you are gonna eat after giving this exam, or there's no music going on in your mind. You are 100% totally thinking about that one question which you are attempting that moment. And it becomes very important, especially in prelims, because getting one question wrong is very easy, right? Because if you miss one keyword, for example, I'll share an example of my prelims. There was a question on MSP or something like MSP, and it said that all cereals something get MSP. This was one of the statements, and I forgot to read all. I did not read all. I just thought, and if I missed that all, and rest of the statement made complete sense. I did not focus on all. I marked it correct, and the answer became wrong. And just because I missed one word. So that's how important presence of mind is. That you cannot miss even a single word, because it will reduce your score. It will get your answer wrong. It might even get you out of the selection list, right? Third, second aspect is the focus span. So you need to have 100% intense focus in the moment, and throughout those 2 hours of prelims, or those 3 hours of main paper, or those half an hour of that interview. So your focus needs to be intense and prolonged. And this you need to practice and hone with time, giving many tests, giving many simulations, being in such high stress situations once in a while, etc. Third is the idea of making mental links. So what this is something I used to do, especially in prelims, that I used to have a sort of connections between different parts of my notes, and I could link something to something else, so that I can get to an answer. So I'll share an example. That there was a question on national parks of there were some national parks and protected areas of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, and it was which river passes through them, or Kaveri passes through which, Kaveri doesn't pass through which of these national park. There was something like a question, something like that in 2020 in the prelims that I gave, and I had some rough idea somewhere that from Kaveri I could interlink its origin point, and from there it struck me that which biosphere reserve is where, and then it suddenly struck me that okay, that one is in Andhra Pradesh, so Kaveri shouldn't go through there, and through Andhra Pradesh I somehow I linked that this won't be the Andhra Pradesh one won't be the Kaveri won't be flowing through the Andhra Pradesh the national park in Andhra Pradesh, something like that. So you make links and dynamically move through them as and when required by the question, so that something that is not directly related to the question or the statement, that might also help you in eliminating the answer, right? Eliminating the statement so that you can get to the answer. Now I like to discuss that why exam temperament is important. First and most important is that it is how you perform on that day that determines your marks. The examiner doesn't know how much you have prepared beforehand. The examiner doesn't know the effort you have put in before. They don't care how much time and sweat and blood that you have put in into this preparation. All they care about is the answer sheet that they're getting from you, and that answer sheet is determined by how you perform on that day. So if you are not able to perform on that day, you won't be getting good marks, right? Second important part is handling pressure. So this again is related to both prelims, mains and interview, because once you have all those three traits of exam temperament that I mentioned earlier, that is confidence, calm and presence of mind, handling pressure becomes relatively easy, because you're not worrying about the consequences of what might happen. You are not worrying about the past, that whether you have prepared well or not. You're not concerned with these things that are not present in the moment. So in the moment, all you have is that question and you. So therefore there's no pressure. You're taking one thing at a time. You don't have to think of the weight of your career hangs in the balance on that one question. That all of that only increases stress and increases pressure. And since you are confident, calm and present in the moment, you won't be facing any issues with pressure. Third is the idea of in an unexpected situation, you don't panic. And this is very important, because once you start panicking, even if there are easy questions, you won't be able to solve them, because your mind will have self doubts. You'll be thinking here and there, not on the question. You'll start your mind will start wandering. You won't be able to think straight. You won't be able to compose yourself. So it's very important that if, let's say, there are 5 questions in a row that you are not getting the answer of, and you start panicking, and then the 6th question comes, which is very easy, which you know the answer to, you won't be able to solve it, because you have started doubting yourself whether I am good enough for this examination or not, or whether I have prepared enough or not, or whether if I get all the answers right now, will I be able to make it or not, etc., etc., right? And last is staying in the moment. It is again related to the aspect of presence of mind, that staying in that moment leads to giving you 100% in that moment, and you need that to give 100% in all those moments, those 2 hours, 3 hours of the exam, so that you can get the most out of the preparation that you have done. Here are a few general tips that I believe you can consider to improve or hone your temperament. That is, firstly, naturally be thoroughly prepared. You'll have a positive temperament naturally if you are very well prepared, if you are confident in your abilities. Second is to simulate the exam conditions beforehand. That is, to give many tests in that time period of, for example, if you're giving mains, that 9 to 12 and 2 to 5 p.m. tests, you have done it again and again and again, and you are ready for that. And you also realize that if something goes wrong, if in the examination hall, if you realize that I shouldn't think about what happens after that, because it will only lead to stress, it will only lead to a negative outcome, nothing positive will come out of it. One more thing that you can do is you need to have a robust paper attempting strategy. What do I mean by this is, for example, in prelims, I had a full plan that I'll go through the first reading in the first 70 minutes, and in which I would have attempted around 55 to 60 questions. After that, I'll go through a second round for those questions which I have circled. Those circled questions are the ones where I have a doubt between 2 options. I'll do those then in the next around 40 minutes or 35 minutes. Then in the last 10 minutes, I'll be guessing, or I'll be trying to answer those questions of which I have no idea about, or which questions I have a vague idea about. So that is how I planned my time in those 2 hours of prelims, and I kept buffers in between so that if things don't go according to plan, what should I do then? So I had a very, I believe, a paper attempting strategy with which I was comfortable, and with which I had replicated and practiced again and again and again in all my mock tests. Another tip that I think you could follow is to be prepared for the worst, to be mentally prepared that, okay, there might be a scenario where I won't be knowing 10 questions in a row. What should I do then? Because there'll be an 11th question which will be easy, because those 10 questions in a row are difficult for everyone, right? One more important thing is it's the same as following a schedule that matches the examination timings. By this I mean that if your exam is 9 a.m. in the morning, for the past 2 months you must be sleeping at 10 at night so that you wake up at 7, or sleeping at 11 so that you wake up at 7 in the morning and get ready to give the exam at 9. So it should be imbibed in your body clock. It should be imbibed in your schedule that you physically and mentally get active at by 9 a.m. and you're not drowsy, you're not sleepy at 9 a.m., right? Lastly, the most important thing is to have a good night's sleep the day before. A good peaceful sleep that energizes you, a good sleep that gives you some peace, removes all that anxiety and uncertainty, that refreshes you, and something that the fatigue of the preparation of the past many months that you have undergone, a sleep that good that removes all that fatigue so that you're fresh on the day of the examination. So lastly, I'd like to share my experiences of how exam temperament I believe was important in my prelims and mains. So I'll be brief in this. My prelims was the first question that was in my set was a question on Aadhaar card, of which I had no idea about. Then I saw the second or third question in which it was again something about insurance payment, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh. There were some options like this, statements like this, of which I had no idea about. Then I thought, okay, I don't know the first 2-3 questions. I'll start from the last. So I went to question 100, which was this question about area of the critical tiger habitat of tiger reserve, which is the largest tiger reserve, something like that, of which I had no idea about. Then there was this question of depth of sea level, something about monsoon, some 59 meter, 129 meter, some temperature in the Indian Ocean. Again, a question of which I had no idea about. So this is when I thought, okay, things are getting a little bad. That I don't know the first 3 questions, I don't know the last 2 questions. How should I proceed from? So I thought that I'll just skip the first 10 questions and then start from there. So I just went through, gave a cursory reading to the first couple of questions, and then I went to directly the 10th question. And from 10th question, I started attempting again with a fresh mind. And question seemed quite easy. I got this polity section, the economy section, the history sections, which were relatively much easier than the complex questions in the beginning and the end. And once I got this momentum of getting questions right and having confidence in the questions that I've attempted, when I revisited the questions in the beginning, in the end, which I had no idea about, I could make an educated guess in them. And in the end, when I checked my answers with the answer key, many of those were correct. So this was again a very important thing where exam temperament helped me, because if I had not composed myself after seeing those 5-6 questions, I would have derailed my paper attempting strategy. I would have put a lot of time in those questions, got stressed out, still couldn't figure out the answer, then have less confidence in the questions that I'm attempting later, etc. So that was my experience in prelims. I'd like to share one experience in mains as well. This was the GS4 paper, ethics. Ethics is, as many of would be knowing, the lengthiest paper. It becomes difficult to complete the paper. So my strategy was to finish the case studies section first and then go to part A, because that I believed I could do if there was a time crunch. So I had followed the strategy. The case studies were a little unconventional. It took me a little more time. By the end, I had three questions, two questions left, and I had around 10 minutes. So I had 10 markers left. I had around 10 minutes, and I thought, okay, now this is when things will become difficult because I probably won't be able to justify properly answer both these questions. But somehow I took a couple of seconds and I thought, okay, the paper is this lengthy that someone that I who has given three main simulations before have written a lot of answers. Even if I can't complete it, there must be many people, almost everyone. That's what I like to believe while I was giving the paper, that almost everyone wouldn't be comfortably completing the paper. So that gave me a sense of confidence that okay, I don't have to write the best answer in these two questions. I just have to somehow complete them. And if I somehow complete them, I'll be ahead of the competition. And that's what I did. In those 10 minutes, I finished those both of those questions in 8 minutes. I had 2 minutes left in hand. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, when the marks came out, I got a score of 122 in ethics, which is one of the among the highest scores in the test. So again, this is where having a sense of confidence, having a sense of calm, being present in the moment, being able to think on your toe helped me a little in both my prelims and mains. And I hope it helps you as well, because again I'll repeat, what you do in the examination hall determines what score you're getting, and what and how the exam goes during those 2 and 3 hours depends on lot on what your exam temperament is. Thank you. Hope you have a nice day, and I hope it helped.